All right. Two unmistakably great classic self-titled debut albums by two of the great, I like to consider two of the greatest bands in the whole wide world, are about to duke out in what I may think will reign supreme. How's it going, old schoolers? You are kicking it old school with Russell J.S., and I am your host, Russell J.S. What am I talking about? Well, it's going to be another. I love doing these, track by track, album versus album kind of deals lately. Like I've been inspired by other vloggers that are doing it. And don't worry, there's going to be some other good kicking it old school stuff ahead. I just set up myself an account on eBay about a month ago, and I've been making purchases and a lot of stuff I got to share with you. But first, it's a little hot in here, so let me go ahead and turn the AC on, okay? Ooh. Yes, it is mighty toasty in here. The temperature has just been bipolar here in Southwest Florida, being that it's still winter time. But what is it I'm talking about? How about this? Led Zeppelin I versus Blue Oyster Cult's self-titled debut album from 1972. Now, Blue Oyster Cult, a lot of people will agree that, they're probably one of the most underrated bands in the world, probably more talented than most bands out there that are considered iconic. And some of you will agree with that. But before we get into this, I want to kindly remind you I encourage you, if you're new to the channel, please hit a like, subscribe, leave your feedback in the comments down below. Don't be too negative, don't be too mean. If, my opinion differs from yours, you know what? We can all agree to disagree. So here we are, and I also decided I got a composition book for when I do these videos. You see, I got this video, I got it all ready on how I'm going to list it, and I've got others in the works that I'm getting ready to put together. Like the next one will be Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion 1 versus Use Your Illusion 2, Megadeth Countdown to Extinction versus Metallica's Black Album. This is going to be a work in progress, as I write all these down. Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz versus Dio's Holy Diver. And to start this off, we're going to do Led Zeppelin versus Blue Oyster Cult. Okay, now Blue Oyster Cult was a psychedelic acid rock band that was formed in 1967 by the Burchard brothers, Albert and Joe, Alan Lanier, Buck Dharma, and some other guy, where I believe future singer-songwriter, guitarist, and keyboardist not Alan Lanier, but Eric Bloom, would join the band while he was working at Sam Ash Music. They formed in Long Island, New York. They were first the Stock Forest Group, and some other band name that I can't really pronounce starts with X. And then they were the Soft White Underbelly, which actually scored a record deal with Elektra Records, but it fell through. That album became shelved. It never got released. I hear that there's a release of it right now floating around where it's, on sale. I don't know. I think it's just rumors. I'm not sure. And of course, we all know Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin evolved from the Yardbirds, which was formed partially by Eric Clapton, which would be replaced by Jeff Beck, managed by Peter Grant and Richard Cole, future Led Zeppelin tour managers and band manager. And Jimmy Page would team up with Beck in the band, and the whole band would break up and Beck would leave, leaving Jimmy Page the only member of the band, and was convinced to go ahead and form a new band and recruit other musicians, where he got John Paul Jones on keyboard and bass, John Bonham on drums, and Robert Plant on lead vocals and harmonica. and they went ahead and struck out as the New Yardbirds. Well, they would go ahead and tour Europe, and unfortunately, being called the New Yardbirds did not work out. So Page was bummed. He was hanging out in a pub in England with Keith Moon and John Entwistle of The Who, and they had said, you know, Pagey, you should go ahead and call this new band Led Zeppelin because it's going to go up like a lead balloon. And Pagey was like, okay. So he brought it back to the band members, and he said, I got a whole new band name. John Bonham asked, what are we going to be called now? Whoopee Cushion? And Page said, nope, we're going to be called Led Zeppelin, except we're going to spell lead L-E-D instead of L-E-A-D. And before you know it, Led Zeppelin's born. So now, there's the brief history that we all know. Fact check me on some things down in the comments, but remember, don't be so mean. Now, we're going to rate these bad Oscars. We're going to see which album is actually the best. Which album is going to win. Okay, starting off, Led Zeppelin I versus Blue Oyster Cult self-titled debut. Good Times, Bad Times versus Transmanakian MC. I dig both tunes. You know, I love them. I can't pick one over the other. I mean, they got great instrumentals. I mean, sure, Transmanakian MC has a faster beat and a faster rhythm and tempo to it, where Good Times, Bad Times starts off kind of like real bluesy with the guitar, bass, and drums, and then as they called him, the Robert Plant, the Golden God, he wails on the lead vocals. So you know what? I'm going to give them each a point for that. Babe, I'm going to Leave You versus I'm the Lamb, but I Ain't the Sheep. Yeah, I love Blue Oyster Cult. I'm a big fan of all their music, but I don't really care much for that one, so I'm giving that point to Zeppelin. You Shook Me versus Then Came the Last Days of May. Well, it's a cover song done by Willie Dixon. Zeppelin did an awesome job on it, but you know, I can't count it because it's a cover tune. And Then Came the Last Days of May, you know, still got that kind of clean tone, that bluesy tone that Buck Dharma just does with the lead guitar. And, you know, you have Alan Lanier on the rhythm guitar, Eric Bloom on the keyboards, and you got Joe Bouchard, you know, just killing it on the bass, and his brother Al Bouchard just, you know, got that jazzy beat going. So, because I'm a bigger fan of that song, Last Days of May gets a point. All right, Dazed and Confused versus Stairway to the Stars. Now, Dazed and Confused, again, Jimmy he took credit from a blues guitarist who came up with a concept of doing the violin bow against the guitar strings during that guitar solo, which sounds really awesome. I mean, it's killer. Nobody else has done it before or after. But sadly, even though Page didn't come up with the idea, he still took credit for it. It still sounds awesome. It's still killer. And Stairway to the Stars, it's, you know, fast-paced, you know, kind of boogie-woogie rhythm and blues. And I love both those songs, so they both get a point. Both those songs are tied. Your Time Is Gonna Come versus Before the Kiss, A Red Cap. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Before the Kiss, A Red Cap. You know, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like they were, you know, that beginning intro doesn't really sound right. I mean, it just sounds like somebody with, you know, with rhythm guitar and someone else on lead guitar, you know, dun 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 dun, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that one to Led Zeppelin. Black Mountainside versus Screams. You know, again, Black Mountainside, you know, is really awesome. I love that tune. Up against Screams. Screams sounds more like it's trying to be you know, they're going to their acid rock roots, which at that point, Oyster Cult didn't realize that, the acid rock thing was kind of fizzling. It had already fizzled out. People were moving on to different sounds just to keep going if their bands were still around, like, Jefferson Airplane or Iron Butterfly. Grateful Dead, I think, were, they didn't really even do much psychedelic stuff, even though they were lumped into that. But I love Blue Oyster Cult as much as I love Led Zeppelin, even more. But you know what? I have to give that point to Zeppelin. Okay. Communication Breakdown versus She's as Beautiful as a Foot. Again, that one sounds more like Strawberry Alarm Clock type rock music, kind of dragging acid rock thing. You have to enjoy it. You have to be high on acid and weed to enjoy it, and that kind of song went out. I mean, look at the climate change in music by 1972, so therefore Zeppelin gets a point. Zeppelin wins on that one. And I love Communication Breakdown anyway. I Can't Quit You Baby versus Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. Well, again, another Willie Dixon tune. Forgive me, I'm really thirsty. Have a little bit of sweet tea right there. This is the South after all. And a vape. I Can't Quit You Baby versus Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll. Well, again, I love the way Zeppelin does that tune. I love how they cover old blues tunes like this, like Willie Dixon and things like that. But, we're out for originality here, are we not? And Cities on Flame with Rock and Roll, that is so upbeat with the times, with hard rock and heavy metal rock music of 1972. That ba-na-na, I mean, it shows, it wasn't a big hit single. Blue Oyster Cult wouldn't have their big #1 hit single until Don't Fear the Reaper in 76 off the Agents of Fortune record. So therefore, I have to go ahead and give Blue Oyster Cult that point right there. Now, here's the thing. The last track off of Zeppelin I originally is How Many More Times, which is going up against Workshop of Telescopes. And I went ahead and added a bonus track to that. Okay? Hey, hey, what can I do? Now, I did my research on this. I went up on the internet. It turns out, Hey, hey, what can I do? Was never on any Led Zeppelin album from Led Zeppelin I to In Through the Outdoors. Matter of fact, it was a backup single for Immigrant Song. When they put the Immigrant Song on 45, that Immigrant Song was supposed to be the hit single, and then they put Hey, hey, what can I do on the B-side. So I went ahead and added a bonus track so I could be fair. Now, here we go. How Many More Times versus Workshop of the Telescopes. Both are very upbeat. Both are very hard, rock and raw power. This is one where I can't pick one over the other, so therefore they each get a point for that. And now, Hey, hey, what can I do versus Redeemed. Redeemed is really a good song, good ending for the first Blue Oyster Cult LP. And Hey Hey What Can I Do? I mean, that's kind of like their more acoustic stuff, which I have nothing against Zeppelin's acoustic stuff. I'm a big fan of the song Gallows Pole. I'm a big fan of Battle of Evermore, and I'm a big fan, of just that intro to Over the Hills and Far Away. And, you know what? I love the way that song sounds. And once again, I have to go ahead and I have to give them both a point. Now let me go ahead and tally up. Looks like Led Zeppelin has beaten Blue Oyster Cult. Led Zeppelin has got 8 points, Blue Oyster Cult 6. So, let me go ahead and put this here. Here we go. Here it is. Now, remember, I love both these albums, and I'm being fair. Just all you diehards of Zeppelin and BOC, if you're going to leave any comments in the box below, do not beat me up verbally too bad. Chime in with your 2 cents, and let me know what what you would think. How would you rate both these albums against each other? And like I said, that the way so I could keep composition of what I'm doing. These are going to be the next. I'm getting everything set up so I could do more of these videos. And I also got some bad Oscars ready for the next batch of videos. Like I said, I've been buying a lot of old school stuff on eBay. I got to show you. And, I can't wait. Just when I thought I was running out of ideas, once again, more ideas are just pouring into my head. And you know what? I saw that, sure, I don't have a lot of subscribers. I found that I now went up from 46 to 48. I'm actually, pleased by that. I'm happy about that. I want to thank all of you for subscribing and watching my videos. And some of you leave comments, some of you don't, some of you leave thumbs up. Yeah, I've been going about this now for almost 10 years, since I discovered YouTube. And you know what? I enjoy making them. I keep hoping that things pick up, where I could get more subscribers and everybody, especially with the weekly narc, I'm hoping more people will go ahead and tune in, if they're in a situation where they're in a narcissistic relationship or they know somebody that is, I've been in my life, I've been in a lot of narcissistic relationships and friendships. And, I'm open to talk about it. Talking about it helps me feel better. It's a lot of trauma to go through when, you deal with narcissistic relationships or friendships. But eventually you do heal. And, I hope that, everybody catches on with the weekly narc and kicking it old school. I encourage you to, tell your friends, and let's build this channel up. Well, that's all the time I got. I've got to go take care of laundry now, and I got to go make my bed, even though I didn't make it this morning. I had to actually take off from work today because Mustang Sally was starting to have problems, and I had to take her to the auto repair shop. Hopefully she'll be done by tomorrow. And I'm renting a car right now temporarily until I get her back on the road. And, that's what's going on in my life. And, I got the 2 jobs going, and I know I haven't been keeping up with the weekly narc. Pretty soon it's going to be once a month, monthly narc. But, hey, I am doing my best. It's not easy when you're working 2 jobs and you're taking care of your mom and dad. But, I'm doing everything I have to do in life. People talk about adulting. Well, what I'm doing is real adulting. And the thing about adulting is when you truly are adulting, you never talk about it. You just do it. You don't make yourself look good, by saying you're adulting. You just do it. At any rate, this is your old pal, Russell J.S. Want to remind you all to stay cool, stay fresh, stay chill, be real, get you enough of anything, get you enough of love, peace, happiness, hope, tranquility, less drama, no drama, less chaos, no chaos. And of course, keep on listening to classic rock and metal and punk. Keep playing Nintendo and Atari. keep playing old school video arcade machines. This is your old pal Russell J.S. I want to wish you all Godspeed, and may the force be with you always.